Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I create this zero gravity space build that you see in the picture on screen right now. Everything started from this small base plate that has been tiled up with different colors and different patterns. This to create a little bit of, as I say, different patterns, but also based on the parts availability in my inventory. Of course, here now I have to create the walls of this, let's say, space station, starting from the windows. This build will have a black background, so looking out of these transparent windows will be like looking at the space, the universe in dark outside. A little bit more details. I wanted to create a little bit of a different level for access from one space to another in this spaceship. The one in front is a little bit smaller because that's where we will be pointing the camera from for taking that picture, while the bottom one, the far one, is a little bit smaller. So this is the angle from where we actually took the picture. Now let's move on the other side, on that far wall. Over there I wanted to create a little bit of command center, a few plates, a few brackets, so that I could create another surface with tiles, different colors there. Those are supposed to be some sort of different screens. While for this command center, I use different tiles, printed tiles and printed slopes, some recent and some a little bit older. And that's gonna connect right there in that space. As you can see, there are some gaps that are not being filled. That's because from the perspective of the photo shoot, they will not be seen, because we will see only inside this space. Now let's move on, and we need to create the ceiling sort of this space station. To do that, I use another base plate. In this case is one of those old island base plates. Again, I use a few tiles and plates to create the connection. And I use a big white tile and then another set of smaller one to create a little bit of different texture. And from there, one of the astronaut minifigure will be hanging, attaching from the feet. So as you can see on the left there, we connect the two parts. And now from this perspective, the room is closed on all sides with this minifigure, let's say, walking from the ceiling, because as I said at the beginning, this is a zero gravity scene. At the beginning it was a little bit smaller. I mean, it was like that, and I realized that it needed to be a little bit deeper to look nice. So I just create a couple of additional walls at the back, and they are just gonna connect over there only with that bracket at the bottom, because actually we are only, it's not gonna be much of support, but we just need to see a little bit of extra walls. And as you can see, the build will just sit on top of those tiles, and from the perspective of the camera we will be only seeing the walls. This is the bottom wall, where I create a sort of entrance with some handles there to open these, to access this next room. And from there, with all those antennas, let's say, I create different level where to connect all the parts of this build, which is the two pizza, the other astronaut, and one helmet. This is because from the perspective of the camera, we will not be seeing those parts behind, but it will look like if these parts and this minifigure are just hanging there in the space. And I think at the end it looks quite well. even if now moving it around is not a real perfect position. And also, of course, the light is not the best. Of course, I needed to cover also the other two walls, and here, to make it easier, because they cannot really be seen from camera, I just added two sets of plates, black plates, so that from the perspective of the camera we will just see a little bit of black wall. I'm trying now to show you if it doesn't fall apart. Okay, so this is more or less what will be seen, but of course with better lighting. Now let me open it up a little bit more in all the different parts. Sorry for the camera. So I'm gonna leave you guys with a couple more things. Outside of the window, I wanted to create a sort of planet. Here I used those plates and inverted plate on top, and this orange part was coming from a dot set, the back tag, and that will be sitting just outside of the window with a black background, as I said before. And what I was hoping for is that is gonna look like some sort of planet that can be seen far from the window. If you like this no gravity build, I will put a link up here to this build, which is one of the first build that I make for the channel. Or also you can have a look at the NASA Space Shuttle Discovery mini set, which I will put a link at the end of this video. I will leave you guys with the final image that I took. I think I still need to work on better lighting. Anyway, I hope you like this video. I know that the schedule was a bit messed up this week, but now I'm back on track, and I'm starting to work on a new addition to my mini Lego set series, so stay tuned and please remember to like and subscribe.